Hello, Nikhil. Now it is 2:56. So just 3 o'clock we start. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. We will wait for some time, and I
Yeah,
think after that
four
we will start.
minutes and at 3 we'll start.
Yes, yes, will do.
Yeah.
So, before we begin with the webinar for today, some general instructions to the participants for smooth facilitation of the webinar. Please keep your microphones on mute. That will allow the speaker to have a flow of the webinar. Questions can be posted in the chat box. We encourage all of you to post your questions. For those who have joined us through the YouTube channel, can post their questions in the comments section. One of our team members is monitoring the comments section, and we will ensure that we take up your question towards the end during the question and answer session. Also, yes, as I said, the question and answer session will be conducted towards the end of the webinar. So, as we begin, a very warm welcome to one and all present here. I, Nikhil Mayekar, on behalf of the National Society of the Friends of the Trees, welcome you all to our 8th webinar in the series of lectures that we have organized. It is my pleasure to see so many old and new faces join us for a webinar today. Many of us are ex-students of the speaker under the University of Mumbai. The love of gardening is a seed once sown that never dies, says an old English proverb. And I'm sure all of us present here are avid gardeners and nurturing beautiful gardens in whatever little space is available to us. All of us would have surely experimented with a variety of different plants. They could be indoors, outdoors, perennial, annuals, etc. Sometimes we do get success, but sometimes we don't. Janet Kilburn says, there are no gardening mistakes, there are only experiments. And today we have with us a person who has developed immense knowledge about all plants through experimenting. It is my honor to facilitate today's webinar for my teacher, guru, and an encyclopedia of knowledge, Nandan Kalbag sir. Let us learn from the master himself how to grow and care for hanging plants, orchids, ferns, and bromeliads. Without any further delays, I request Dr. Behnaz Patel to introduce our speaker for the day, Nandan Kalbag sir. Over to you, Behnaz madam.
Thank you, Nikhil, and a very good afternoon to all of you. Friends, as my colleague Nikhil pointed out, one of the most fulfilling hobbies is gardening. Dirty your hands with soil, sow and grow your plants, enjoy the fruits of your labor, both literally and figuratively, and your depression, fatigue, and anxiety obviously would disappear. And for many of us, for this hobby of ours to be fulfilled, we rely on various websites and YouTube videos for the know-how. Friends, one of the best websites, and I'm sure many of you have visited this, is www.gardentia.net, which helps one free of cost with the identification, cultivation techniques, disease and pest management, bottle garden creations, that is terrariums, window gardening, and the creation of beautiful hanging baskets. And the list is endless. This website was launched by none other than today's speaker, a guru to many of us here, Sri Nandan Kalbag, who is a self-taught teacher and consultant in horticulture. His passion for gardening is a very precious gift from his grandfather, Sri Sheshgiri Kalbag, and he has been very lucky to be born to parents, Taranath and Sujata, who encouraged him to pursue his hobby as a profession. The family support continues from the next generation, with his daughter assisting him in his endeavors, that is Mrs. Amita. Besides being a horticulture consultant to many reputed nurseries, farms, and private gardens, for his services as an honorary horticulture consultant to Parijnan Ashram School for the handicapped children in Virar, and for a senior citizens ashram at Jambulpada. He has written articles in many English and Marathi publications like the Times of India, the Indian Express, Lok Satta, Lok Prabha, Maharashtra Times, and Science Today, to name a few. He has appeared in many horticultural programs on the TV and radio. He has also given several audiovisual presentations to many schools, colleges, and social groups about nature. Associated with the Marathi Vigyan Parishad, he has traveled extensively across the Konkan belt and Kolhapur district for delivering lectures and demonstrations on various aspects of gardening. He has been a member of the faculty for the diploma and degree courses in horticulture conducted by Extramural Studies Center at the University of Mumbai, Department of Greenhouse Management at Ramnarayan Raya College, Mumbai, the Horticulture and Gardening Club of St. Xavier's College, Mumbai, Bhavans College, Andheri, Mumbai again, and various colleges affiliated to the SNDT University. The Bombay Natural History Society at Mumbai and BN College of Architecture at Pune have drawn his expertise in gardening to conduct the lecture and practical sessions. In the city of Pune, he is well known for his practical gardening courses at the Empress Garden, Pune. One of the 4 founder members of the Mumbai Rose Society, a great lover of Mother Nature. His hobbies, besides gardening, range from photography of plants and insects, making of handicrafts, macrame plant hangers, house models of bamboo, and other waste material, listening to Indian classical music, and learning several Indian languages. It's kind of you, Nandan sir, to accept our invitation of the National Society of the Friends of the Trees for conducting a webinar on hanging plants, orchids, ferns, and bromelias. With this brief introduction, Nandan sir, the webinar platform is yours. Thank you. May I request Nandan sir to please start with his webinar? We are eagerly awaiting, sir.
Hello, can you see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, namaste to all.
Yeah, namaste, sir.
Now, today we are going to talk about ferns, orchids, and bromeliads and some hanging baskets. One thing I want to make clear is whatever slides you see here, they are all done by me. Nothing is copied from internet or something. A few shots just to explain, maybe from internet, but there I'll tell you. But all other, whatever you see here, they are all my own creations. So here, now we'll start with the slideshow. Here you will see that coconut shell was used for planting a fern here. Why I started this thing is because many times we put the hanging plants in a plastic hanger or plastic pot, and in that the soil is there. So when you water the plants, that all dirty water comes out and soils your ground, it soils your walls. So without that, what we can do, I was thinking, and I got the idea that many plants which we normally grow into the in soil can be easily planted in only moss or some other inert material, and they can still flourish very well. So here you will see I have used the coconut outer shell, and in that I had planted this fern. A small sapling was planted, but how beautifully it is growing. Another pouch of nylon threads I had made, which I make myself in this chlorophytum, or what you call as a spider plant, that was planted, and you will see here that also is growing very well. So these are the few experiments which I had done. I'm going to explain you first. Now see here, this is the fern which we call as a Boston fern commonly, or Nephrolepis fern. I make my own hangers. Now these hangers can be easily made by knotting. You don't require any machine or anything. Your fingers are enough to do, and you can make various different types of hangers. And you will see here, this fern was planted only in the moss. There is no soil at all. Only thing you must remember when you want to do that, the moss should be first made completely moist. It should be completely soaked into the water, then squeeze out excess water, and then you tie the little moss on the roots of the plant which you want to put in the moss. Then the cavity of this hanger is required to be filled with the moss, and that you have to ram tightly, very firmly you have to put, because if the soil, this moss remains loose, then it dries very fast and the roots will not be able to anchor it properly. And after a year, now this also looks very nice, but after a year you can see how beautiful it is looking here. You cannot see any hanger, the plants growing by themselves. And the advantage is watering. When this watering is done, no dirty water is coming out. Either you spray water on them or dip it into the bucket and hang them again. That's the only thing you have to do. And as they are growing into the moss only, moss is the organic matter. As it decomposes, gradually it provides nutrients to the plants also. So I never gave them any chemical fertilizer or any other artificial, even organic manures afterwards. On their own, they are growing. What happens is after some time, the moss goes on depleting because it goes on rotting or it decomposes. So what you have to do is from the openings, you can push little fresh moss in that. So this is what I had done. Now again, you'll see here another fern. This also is a long pouch of nylon thread I had put. In that also, moss was stuffed inside, and a small sapling of this lace fern was also planted in that, and it is growing very vigorously. Here the same thing was done, but here I planted two plants, Syngonium and the ferns, and a little modification I did. What happens is when you have planted them like this, only on the moss, then you have to spray that plant or you have to dip it into the water. So what I did is, end of this, you'll see here, I tied a piece of your mineral water bottle. So I poured water here. So what happens, the roots of that, they go inside this pot and you don't have to spray. You can actually, to clean them or something, occasionally you can spray the water on them. But otherwise, the water feeding can be done in this one. You just put the water here and the plants suck the water because the roots start growing here. And you don't have to spray water again for watering purpose. Now again, here I make a hanger with nylon ropes, and on this is a money plant, marble money plant, and it's a climber. So what I did is actually this trellis type hanger I made. It is like a trellis, and on the end of that I tied moss, and in that about two cuttings of this money plant were planted, and how beautifully they are climbing. This was small cuttings were there, but after about a year they grow like this. So they take the support of this here, what that wire which I have put here, on that they start going. Or otherwise, you can do, now this is a bamboo creeper. I don't know how many of you know. This is a very thin wire-like stem ka bamboo creeper hai. And that I have planted in the soil only. But it's a climber. So I wanted to make a hanger, and I made a beautiful hanger with a trellis. You see here. So this bamboo with soil, it is suspended in this hanger, and now it is going on the trellis here. So these are the few things which we have to always think ourselves, because what happens is healthy plants many people can grow, but what happens is novel things we have to think for ourselves. You have to have, आपण मराठीमध्ये म्हणतो की एक आर्टिस्टिक नजर पाहिजे. You should have that artistic का एक नजर चाहिए. So you can create definitely wonderful things, and they can be sold also, because many people say gardening hobby is very expensive, but you can really earn even if you have got a small balcony. From that, if you grow various plants and propagate them to and make such novel things, they can be easily sold. Now again, see here the same type of trellis, and here that Plectranthus, which is called as a tangled art commonly, it's like a weed. It grows like a weed, but how beautiful it looks here, because it is climb, but it actually doesn't climb. You have to support. But once it is supported, it starts going on that only. Or it can trail out. Some of them can trail out from here also. And you will see only the mass of plants growing on the trellis and around the pot. Again, one waste bamboo piece I found, and on that, in that, again with the moss only I had planted this plant. So these are the various things we have to do. Now, in one of the nurseries where I used to go as a consultant, another thing I tried. This was a plastic pot only, and these philodendron were planted in the soil only. But what I did is, before they were planted, I made some holes on the side. You'll see here. I took a iron pipe and made it hot and made some holes on this thing, because the plastic easily melts and it forms the holes on the side. And here then I filled some soil, and in that I planted some philodendrons. और उसके छोटे छोटे suckers. Again I wrapped their roots on the moss, and this moss with their roots were inserted here. Now this photograph was taken immediately after that mounting. So I had supported them here. You'll see they are supported here with a nylon thread. बाद में ये set हो जाते हैं, we can remove this thing and they will start going on their own from all sides. Now sometimes we don't get moss, so we have to find alternatives. Why moss only? Some people now use coir, but coir ka rope now stick banana, it becomes a little difficult and it looks very shabby. So what I did is actually I took a wooden stick, or you can take a electrical ka wiring pipe आता है वो भी ले सकते हैं. And on that, what I did is actually I wrapped this coir rope. Once I took it down, and again same thing was taken. So there are two layers of that thing. And at the bottom of that thing, again you'll see only in the moss I had planted money plant. Now after some time, you'll see how beautifully it is growing here. So always try to find certain alternatives, because what happens is many times we say कि ये नहीं मिलता है तो क्या करूं? But these are the things we have to find ourselves, and that is how you improve. Just by attending some gardening courses or some lectures or something, what you learn. More than that, you can learn by doing some experiments. You will fail sometimes, but finally you'll find a better way. So that is what I always go on telling my students. Don't depend upon what I am telling you, but try to do something else. You can improve better than me. So that is very important to do. So here we have seen how the plants can be grown without moss also, like a moss stick. Now you'll see here, Hoya plants, they were planted in the coconut का छिलका में डाले थे. This actually is normally grown in the soil, but I had grown here, this one, in the coconut ka chilka, and again you'll see here, the moss was filled. Now, how it was fixed here? Actually, 2 or 3 nails from the sides of these are put, and in the cavity of this skin, I had stuffed some moss, and बाद में ये आपका होया का जो cutting था, rooted cutting, उसमें भी root में थोड़ा सा moss भर के I stuffed it here, and you'll see nail के सहारे से zigzag करके it was supported with nylon rope. And again you'll see here, after some time you cannot see any coconut का छिलका दिखता नहीं है, but it has started flowering also. So these are the few things we have to do, and how nice it looks without any container, the plant growing by itself. So there are certain gaps here. Now this is Dischidia bengalensis. This also you'll see it is planted only in the moss. Here you'll see a long sleeve was made of nylon rope and nylon thread, actually not rope. And here actually earlier what I planted was at the lower end and it climbed, but this is actually trailing plant. So what I did is actually cuttings were planted on the top. Now they started growing down all sides. And as they touch this moss ka andar ka moisture, they start giving roots there and start going from all sides. And you see how beautiful it looks. Now these plants don't have very beautiful flowers, but they see the beautiful foliage. You get different type of colored foliage also in these different varieties of Distidia. So those also could be tried. Now this is another Distidia. We will see here. Here the beauty of them is actually the leaves. Leaves are actually like a ball shape. You'll see this is the hollow. And here small flowers come, but they don't bloom open, but they give nectar. And to drink the nectar every day, मेरे घर में ये sunbird आ जाता है. So that is another attraction for the attracting the birds. This is actually, that time I didn't know, so I put Distidia hybrid, but it is Distidia platyphylla. It is called as a Distidia platyphylla. Now Tradescantia cubensis, which is commonly called as a wandering Jew, they are also very good as a hanging basket plant. You'll see here, they tailed out. Now these were planted in one of the nurseries. You know, moss and this jalika hangers aate the pehle, usme, and moss was lined on that, or matti bhar ke lagaye the. But this is the old type. Nowadays I don't follow this system. These can be easily propagated with stem cuttings. Now another plant. Now this is not very common. I don't know. This is a beautiful plant. It's a Plectranthus numularis. There is no common name. Wherever there is a common name, I'll tell you. Can be propagated easily from leaf cutting, stem cutting. Now here you will see again it is completely covered the hanging basket and you cannot see. They have flowers, but they are not very attractive. It is meant for their succulent type of thick leaves, which are very beautiful and glossy. They also can be propagated very easily with leaf stem cutting. Caliacea repens. These are very tiny leaves, but grow in masses. You'll see here, they grow like weed. Here, you'll see that the whole plant, this hanging basket was covered with that. And here, you'll see the close-up of that thing. The leaves underneath are purple color, and upper portion is light or dark green, depends upon where you keep it, easily propagated with stem cuttings. Apiaceae cupreata. Now these Apiaceae, you get various, at least about 8 to 10 different varieties. And the beauty of this plant is all the leaves are also very beautiful. Their flowers are also very beautiful. You get different leaves. और उसके ऊपर हर variety में different color का फूल आ जाते हैं. They flower almost throughout the year. It's a perennial plant and can be propagated. They start giving the runners. तो रनर काट के आप उसका प्रोपगेशन कर सकते हैं by division. They grow into the many multiple suckers they give. So suckers can be also broken away from the main plant, and you can make this diffusive hangers. You will see here this one hanger was made for a pot. Sorry, there are certain, what happened is my laptop which I normally use that conked somewhere. So I am actually using another. So here some of the slides are actually lost. But anyway, you see here, Portulaca, what we call as a office time. So here also, they are very good for hanging baskets, can be easily grown from stem cuttings. Impatiens, Hawkeri, they are called. They can be propagated either from seeds or from the stem cuttings also. Now we come to the orchids. Now orchids and some other plants which we are going to see further, they are either epiphyte or terrestrial. Epiphyte means they grow on the support of the some tree trunk or on the stones also sometimes, but mostly on the tree trunks. They are not parasites. They take only support. So they can be grown also on the dead wood. Parasites will not survive on the dead wood because they require the food from their host plant. Here, epiphytes are planted on the wood only for the support. So that is what we are going to see. And there are certain orchids which are terrestrial. Terrestrial means they grow normally like other plants which grow into the soil. So these are the few things we are going to see. Now, most of the plants which are these no, orchids, which are epiphytes, they have better flowering than the ones which are called as a terrestrial. Now this one here, it is called the epidendrum, and you will not believe, these flowers last for almost 3 months. Flowers not very large, but they last at least for 3 months on the plant. You get different colors also. You see here, there is a pink variety also of that. So here, this propagation is by division only, because you will see here, number of shoots come. So they can be broken away from each other and they can be planted as separate plants. Now, foxtail orchid. In Marathi, it is our local Indian orchid. And in Marathi, it is called the Sitechi Veni. Sitechi Veni. And once, when traveling to Konkan, I found one piece of this orchid. It was not flowering, but it was fallen on the ground. So I just lifted and planted it on the tree trunk. You'll see here, it is a tree trunk, it was planted. And next year, it flowers only once in a year, in about month of May. So it has beautiful flowers. You'll see 1, 2, 3, 4. These flowers will not last very long. They last only for about a week and flower only once in a year. But at a time, if the orchid is grown very well, at a time you can get about 10 to 12 these flowering stalks also. That's the beauty of that. And you will see here, all the roots of them are spreading on the tree trunk. They don't harm the tree at all, because these roots are meant only to take the support on the plant. They actually cling to the bark of the tree. They don't penetrate inside the wood. Now another variety which you can find very well growing in Maharashtra also, Eretz odorata. They have beautiful fragrance. This, of course, I couldn't find the actual photo, so this I have taken from internet. But they have excellent fragrance, very beautiful fragrance. When propagation is by division of the stems, so they can be easily propagated by division of the stem. Now you get various varieties of dendrobium. Dendrobiums almost flower all year round. There is no particular season as such. They can flower any time of the year. So that's the advantage. And most easily, because in Mumbai climate, some of the orchids may not bloom, but this is the one which is bound to bloom at all. So this is the one. And compared to other ones, this is little cheaper. One good plant will cost about 200 or 300 rupees. If it is blooming and very healthy, then about 400 to 500, but it's really worth, because but you have to have patience, because what happens is, the moment you bring it, you think it should start flowering. Sometimes the plant is healthy. It may take 1 year to bloom, but once it starts blooming, almost the perpetual flowering is there. See, this was planted in my balcony in windowsill. And you will see at a time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 bloom had come. And see the healthy stalk. Uska jo stem hai. See how healthy it is there. And one healthy stalk like this can give one by one, ek ke baad mein ek, aise 6 blooms can come. Then when this is over, flowering is over, all the leaves will start drying. They will not, this stem will not die, but the leaves will start drying. So what I have to do is, at that time, you have to cut this stem. Don't allow it to, when the flowering is gone and leaves are all dried, that time what you have to do is actually cut the stem and keep it horizontal on the brick and charcoal pieces. Keep it moist. So इसके ऊपर से आपको 4 या 5 पौधा मिल सकता है नया. That's the advantage. So don't throw these stems when they become little dry. So you have to use them for propagation. Now, spider orchid. This is a tall growing orchid and needs support. So normally it is to be planted below some mango tree or somewhere, and or coconut tree, and it start climbing on the tree trunk also. Propagation is by division also, here also. Vanda. Vanda are little more expensive than the dendrobium, but they have beautiful flowers and they give flowers which will last for about a month. They are little more expensive. Now Vanda tessellata. It is called as a Himalayan blue vanda. This small plant, you'll see here, small plant I got. Actually, when I was traveling in Kolkata Botanical Garden, again I found a small piece of that fall on the ground. So what I did, I took a lakde ka tukda, and on that I tied moss. And you will see this orchid, its roots are not embedded into the moss. Here they are just tied. And what happens is these roots of many orchids, they are spongy roots and they require exposure to the atmosphere. If they are enclosed into the moss, they will rot. And here also you'll see after about 2 or 3 years, it has started beautifully flowering also. And you'll see here the roots, all our roots are exposed. They will go on clinging on the wood also and they will flourish. But if you plant them in the soil or if you embed them into the moss, they will rot. Suppose you want to put it in the pot, then what you have to do is take a pot which is perforated, side se bhi usko opening hona chahiye, and in that you can put the pieces of charcoal, brick pieces, and maybe cocoa chips. Cocoa chips means coconut का छिलका होता है, उसका टुकड़ा मिलता है आपको. That also you can use. Soak it in the water और उसका आप उसका उसमें plantation कर सकते हैं. And in that gap the roots will go. But in the gap there is lot of aeration there, so they will not rot. But if you put them in the soil or in cocoa peat is one of the worst medium for these orchids. So because many nurseries nowadays sell them in a cocoa peat. So the moment you get them, you plant them like this or in the pot with a charcoal, this brick bags and coconut ka chilke ka tukda. Phalaenopsis. These are also very expensive and these flowers are very large. This small plant will cost you about 450 rupees and a bigger plant will cost about 750 rupees. And these saplings we have brought from one nursery in Pune and they are all planted in the coconut. And here you'll see in one of the nurseries, I have planted them in the flat pots and all the planting medium is only charcoal and brick pieces. And you'll see while planting, we removed all the cocoa peat around them and exposed the roots. The health of an orchid is shown by the exposed healthy roots. So here you can see the plant is growing very well. Some of the roots will go into the medium. That doesn't matter. They will automatically go. But many of them remain outside. And that's the indication that this orchid is very healthy. So remember one thing, whenever you buy any orchid, you have to see that the roots are exposed of that. If the roots are not seen, and if it is particularly in the cocoa peat, never buy it because roots may be, mostly they will be rotten because they are like succulent. Many times, even if the roots are rotten, they will show very beautiful flowering. Leaves also will be okay. But when it remains in the cocoa peat for a very long time, they are bound to die. So the moment you bring them, replant them like this. Here are the different varieties, what you get. Then Oncidium uniflorum. They are called as a dancing dolls. You'll see like a head of that doll here, 2 hands spread and a big skirt. So they are looking like a dancing doll. So they are commonly called as a dancing doll orchid. And this is propagated by division. Here also you'll see mostly charcoal and brick pieces we have used. And again, the roots are exposed here. That is very important for all terrestrial epiphytic orchids. You get different colors in this also. Now we come to terrestrial ground orchids. Now ground orchids do not have that beautiful flowers. So here you will see the different variety of Spathoglottis. Here the leaves look like a palm and propagation is by division. If you put one plant, around that many suckers will come. So you have to break them and plant them separately. Here you see the flowers are quite tiny and not as attractive as epiphytic orchids. This is one Ludicea discolor. This is the orchid with very soft stem, herbaceous stem say uske. And this is meant for the beautiful leaves. Why it is called as a jewel orchid? If the sunlight falls on that, crystal-like growth, this shining you can see on the leaves here. Flowers are not very beautiful, but this plant is meant for the beautiful foliage. And stems like this, they can be cut and planted as a separate plant. Here, again, since it's a terrestrial, I don't plant them in the moss alone or charcoal or something. Here the soil is used, but soil is actually one part, then manure is one part, and 3 parts sand. In that mixture I planted. So manure one plant, 2 parts of, 1 part of manure, 1 part of soil, and 3 parts of sand. That is what I use. Because here what happens is excess water can easily kill them, and less water can actually make them wilt also very fast. So here it is better to keep it little loose, that soil becomes little loose and friable due to mixture of sand, and they grow very well in that mixture. Now, many in the exhibition, you'll see these orchids. These are ground orchids. Very beautiful flowers and mass flowering of these different colors you get. But remember one thing, some of the orchids which are brought from Kalimpong, Darjeeling and such places, they may survive here in our local climate, but they may not bloom. Maybe in Pune they may bloom, but in Mumbai, normally they fail to bloom. So just don't go by the beauty of the flowers. First find out whether they are suitable for our climate, and then we have to buy. So this is Cymbidium variety. So don't buy it unless you are sure, because this requires quite cold climate, and if in Mumbai it is not available. So even if the plant survives, it may not give the flowers. Now here you'll see this plant was planted in the cocoa पीट में डाला था, and ऊपर से छोटे छोटे पीसेस कोको चिप्स से डाले थे. बट आई सॉ कि ये तो एग्जॉस्टेड हो गया, इसमें कुछ फूल नहीं आने वाला. ओनली वन शूट यू विल सी which is very good, that will flower, but बाकी का almost all exhausted. So when you have to buy the plant, you have to see, first thing is the roots are exposed, and दूसरा कि there should not be exhausted stalks, there should be green stalks like this. तो ही आपको खरीदना है, because these you can use only for propagation. इसमें बाद में नया फूल भी नहीं आने वाला. So that you have to remember. So बाद में when I removed it, I found all the roots are rotten. You'll see here, all the roots are rotten now. They can be easily saved, but to make them healthy, it will take another 1.5 to 2 years again. So why to buy such plant, even if there is a good flower? You have to see the health of a plant. So what I did is actually, I brought them again, removed them from the cocoa pit, and you will see how they are planted. Again, whatever roots were there, they were exposed, and they were just kept on the surface of the pot, जिसमें सिर्फ brick pieces or charcoal pieces रखे थे. Now it may collapse. So what I did is actually bamboo ka support leke, then we tied it here. So automatically the roots, some of them will go inside, some of them will go outside also. But this is the way to make them survive. Otherwise, if you put them in the cocoa pit only, they are bound to die. Now see here, these are the healthy roots that I told you when I was in Mumbai. I had planted that orchid in my windowsill. So actually this was original plant that was growing in the pot, but now it has started growing on my windowsill also. And see the healthy roots. This shows the white roots with the green tips. You will see here. This shows the plant is very healthy. So whenever you buy the new orchid, it should have white roots and with the green tips. So that indicates the plant is very healthy. See here, all exhausted. Now somebody will see flower and they will buy. What is the use of this plant? It will not die. I had replanted them, but what's the use of this thing? Because it is not going to give any flowers afterwards. So this could be used for making propagation. So how we do the propagation, we'll see. You'll see here, those all the stems are cut and put horizontally on the brick. It should have a long pot, elongated pot, और उसके ऊपर brick pieces or charcoal pieces रख के keep them moist. Now you'll see small saplings have started coming. You'll see roots are also coming. And when the plants become about this big, you can transplant them separately, again, not in the soil, but again in the same medium, or plant them on the, mount them on the moss. That's what you can do. But this is the way to propagate them. Now in Phalaenopsis, what happens is, here the flowering stalk, you'll see the flower is gone. When the last flower is about to die, that time a small saplings grow. This will not be 100% every time, but sometimes it happens. So what happens is, even if the flower is dead, don't remove the stalk, because from that you can get a new plant. And these plants are very expensive. As I told you, a size ka sapling, if it is rooted, it will cost you at least about 300 to 400 rupees. But beautiful, and they also flower almost throughout the year. उसको कुछ particular season ऐसा नहीं है. So this should be actually, when it after this flower dies, it will start growing the roots from here and there, and that time we can cut it here, and then plant it as a separate plant. Now you'll see here, the flowering is there, so anybody will be tempted to buy if you like the color. But here you'll see all the stalks are exhausted. अभी उसमें कुछ फूल नहीं आने वाला. To get another shoot here, healthy shoot, will take number of months or year also. So for a long time you have to wait. So never buy such plant. And roots are not exposed. You'll see here, roots are not exposed. Here you see the roots are exposed. In fact, they are coming from the bottom of that also pot. You'll see from opening, they are coming out here. And all the shoots which are there, they are healthy. They are all healthy. So you have to buy the plant only which are looking like this. Otherwise you will be fooled. Never buy the plants just looking at the flowers. You have to see the condition of the plant. That is very important. Now we come to the ferns and Scilla-Geniella. In ferns and Scilla-Geniella also, they are terrestrial and epiphytic, both varieties. So we are going to talk about them. Now this is a common variety found in India in many places. This is called as a silver fern. Why it is called as a silver fern? The backside of this has a white powder, and if you put it on your clothes or hand and tap it, then you'll get a pattern of that color on your hand. So that is why it is called as a silver fern. There is one with a, see here, you'll see here. It is just put on the hand, and if you tap, you get a beautiful pattern on your hand. So this is that silver fern. Similarly, you get a golden fern also, but this golden fern is not found in Konkan area. Here that silver fern can be found in many places. It is very common, but this golden fern will be found in cooler places. If you go there, you'll find it growing wild everywhere. So here also, but that can survive in Mumbai. It can easily survive in Mumbai. So here that also suckers you can bring, and they can be planted either as a epiphyte or as a terrestrial. Either way you can do it. This is called as a rabbit foot fern, Dahlia griffithiana. And here the stem you will see, uska stem thick rehta hai, and it is a woolly white like a rabbit's foot. So it is, that's why it is called as a rabbit foot fern. Either stem cutting can be planted for propagation, or you can divide, because ek lagane ke baad you get lot of suckers. So by division of that, but if you want to divide, you have to spoil the whole basket, और टुकड़ा टुकड़ा निकाल के आपको लगाना पड़ेगा. So instead of that new shoot which is coming out, when it forms the leaves on that time only cut. Don't this which is still not growing fully. So what time नहीं काटने का आपको, when they start giving new leaves, that time we can cut here and plant it as a separate plant. Another beautiful for Indian variety, अपना native है, it is called as a fig leaf. Fig का पत्ता जैसा रहता है, ऐसा commonly called as a fern, and it's a very low growing fern. It doesn't grow very tall, but see the beautiful gloss on the leaf. This I had taken in the one of the forest nurseries. This photograph I had taken, but nowadays in the nurseries also you get this plant available. Nephrolepis. This is Nephrolepis golden. Commonly all these Nephrolepis, they are called as a Boston fern. They are propagated by division. And what happens is, you'll see a lot of thread-like things are coming here. They are actually not roots, they are runners. They are runners. So in the first few slides, I showed you a basket made of nylon rope, and there are gaps in that. And from that, these gaps, these threads, runners, they start coming out. And since they get moisture around their stems there, they start giving new plants there. So within very short time, that entire basket, hanging basket with made nylon rope, that can be covered. So here, this is the one which is called the Nephrolepis. Now, maidenhair fern. Adiantum capillus veneris, it is called as a propagation is by division. And remember one thing, ferns are not flowering plants. So they don't have flowers. So no seeds are there. But on the underneath of the leaf, they have got spores. And from spores also, it is a little difficult process. But some of the ferns can be easily propagated by those spores also. So here, the easiest way is to propagate them by division. This is commonly called as a mid-air fern. And many times in Konkan area I have seen, in monsoon particularly, it grows on the walls and आपका well होता है बावड़ी उसके बाजू में भी it grows. Mostly on the old buildings also it grows. So, but that one is little short-lived. It can be grown throughout the year, provided it gets humidity. But what happens is in Konkan area particularly, after the monsoon, the climate becomes dry and the ferns die there. But uske spores wall में पड़े रहते हैं, and again when the monsoon starts, they start growing again. Now another epiphytic fern. This is called the bird's nest fern. And here you will see they grow normally on the tree trunks. But here you will see it is planted in the pot, but not in the soil. It is not planted in the soil. It is planted in the medium of cocoa chips, bricks, and some cocoa peat. So in that they can grow very easily. And you will see here in one of the nurseries where I planted it, actually a bulbul made a nest in the this bird's nest fern only made a nest there, and there were 3 eggs were laid in that. It was in the hanging basket. Now this also is found very easily in Maharashtra and many other places of India. It is called as a bashing. This is an epiphytic one. You see here, it clings to the trunk, and they have got 2 types of leaves. This is the normal leaf. This is normal leaf. And these are the leaves. They are called as a shield leaves or scale leaves. When they grow new, you will see they are green. They are green. But as they mature, within very short time, they become brown. And their main objective is actually to collect the rainwater. Because here the stem, you will see it is woolly and very thick. So usko pani pakadne ke liye, to catch the water and direct it to the stem and roots, they work. So after monsoon, the normal leaves will all dry, and you will see only these leaves coming like this. But it is not dead, it has gone into dormancy. When the rain start again, first you will see these also becoming green and new leaves starting coming out of that. So this is a very beautiful thing. It can be grown on the tree trunk. Again, you will see I planted it on the nursery on tree trunk here. And here in one of the gardens, private gardens, I planted it in the basket. But again with the cocoa chips and brick pieces and charcoal pieces. Never plant it in the soil. It can be planted in the soil. It will flourish, no doubt, but it will grow much better if it is planted in this medium, which is not soil. These are the different type of spores on the leaves. पीछे में आ जाते हैं. This is that staghorn fern. उसके पीछे में देखेंगे a lot of spores come. So I tried it, growing some plants of one simple fern. What I did, took a brick piece, kept it soaking in the water, and a tray was provided in which that brick piece was kept. और उसमें थोड़ा सा पानी भर के रखा था, very about 1 inch height up to, and that absorbed, the brick could absorb the water. And brick के ऊपर के surface में those spores from here, they are sprinkled. And you will see the new plants are growing now out of these spores. So many of them, hundreds of them. And some of them started giving now new leaves also. Here though, they were all plants were grown from the spores. Now Sila gemella, many call them ferns, but they are not related to ferns at all. But they have similar growth habit. They don't have flowers. They don't have flowers. So these are also can be either propagated on stem cuttings or with the spores. But easiest way to propagate them is with the stem cuttings. A small piece of stem. This is not a leaf. This is complete a stem. So here if you cut it and plant it as a separate plant, it can easily take root. Now this is a trailing variety. It goes on spreading from all sides everywhere. So very good for hanging basket. And it is called as a morpankhi also, because when the sunlight falls on that, you get that different colors patterns on this thing. Very beautiful fern. Even if you put on a ground cover, suppose you have got a tree, large tree, उसके नीचे बहुत छांव है, and nothing grows under that. You can plant this. This will cover entire ground and will show this beautiful color also on that. See here, different varieties you get. All are planted here. They are planted here in the soil. Soil ka mixture mein is. And again here I have used one part of soil, one part of manure, and one part of sand. As far as possible, I avoid using coco peat because coco peat holds sometimes too much moisture, and many times, because what happens every time in nurseries I cannot go and water, but I give that work to the gardeners, and normally they tend to overwater plant and then they die. So normally I use one part of soil, one part of manure, and one part of sand. So here they are not planted in the moss, but they also can be planted only in the moss. Now we come to the bromeliads. Bromeliads is actually family of the pineapples. Now they are again terrestrial and epiphytic. And in this also, terrestrial are not very decorative, but epiphytic ones have beautiful flowers. Now you'll see, this is actually Cryptanthus, it is called as a, this normally grows into the soil. But here you'll see I use a plastic tube, वायरिंग का प्लास्टिक पाइप आता है एंड उसके ऊपर मैंने मॉस बांध के आई हैड ग्रोन दीज varieties of Cryptanthus and they are growing very healthy. You can just spray the water on them, they grow. So many plants which are terrestrial can be easily grown as a epiphytic plant also. Now pineapple also is actually terrestrial plant but belonging to the ananas family, and here the fruit is edible, but this particular variety is a decorative variety. It is not very tasty, but the plant is very beautiful, and when the plant is about to fruit, that time you'll see the leaves become absolutely blood red like this. Now Bilbergia pyramidalis. One thing you must remember, these all bromeliads, कोई भी species, कोई भी genus होगा, after they flower, they die. They flower only once in a life. But before they die, they will give many suckers. About one plant give about 4 to 5 new suckers also. So here, once you buy it and the flowers, when the plant dies, no worry because they will give suckers. Now you see here, one plant, this is flowering here. This of course is not from my garden. I had taken it from some other nursery. But when this is actually flowering, you'll see a lot of suckers coming here. So these suckers will now later take place and they will flower. But this original plant will die afterwards. But there is no worry because again, you will get more and more new plants after that. And here also you will see they are planted only in the cocoa chips. Nothing else, only in cocoa chips also they can be planted. See the different varieties. So many different varieties you get, very beautiful. And what you actually see as flowers, they are not flowers, they are inflorescence. And flowers are quite tiny. These are the tiny flowers here. And when the plant is about to bloom, their leaves become very colorful sometimes. Or the unka jo inflorescence hai, that is so beautiful. You will see here, different type of them. All of them, these are all epiphytic ones, and they cannot be grown into the soil. They can be grown, but they will not become very healthy. Now Tillandsia, they are called as air plants. Now they don't require anything at all as a planting medium also. You can keep them just hanging anywhere, just with a thread or somewhere, and they survive. And they have beautiful small tiny flowering also is there. Now what I had done is actually you see, because they require a lot of moisture, they prefer moisture. So what I did in a glass bowl liya, uske niche thoda sa moss rakha for moisture, and lot of pebbles were put here, and I had just kept this on the surface. I had not planted them at all. And once in a 3 days or 4 days, I used to spray a small quantity of water, spray. So that made it survive, and it got many suckers also, which of course I gave it because I don't have it now. And because due to certain reason, I had to discard many of the plants. So some of the plants I discarded and gave to my students. Now another plant, which is Tillandsia, again air plant. Here the plant looks like a just अपना क्या बोलते हैं उसको सेवई बोलते हैं मराठी में सेमोलिना कल म्हणतात का Shivamaya? Vermicelli. It looks like a vermicelli. But here, the plant actually, they normally don't bloom. But even if they bloom, actually, they don't have any roots. They don't have any stems also. Only the leaves are there. And they go on multiplying. So here you'll see, once I had planted them on a small wooden stick, and they are all hanging down with support of each other. Only support is at the top, but they are hanging all down. And to my wonder, once I found a small, very tiny flower on that. Of course, the flower has not much beauty, but again, you'll see the flower had come in my garden also. This was in my balcony, which I put. So, yeah, you have to spray the water on this once in a day, preferably. That is enough. No planting is required anywhere. Just support it on a stick, और आपका कुछ एक वायर का टुकड़ा होगा या आपका नायलॉन का रोप का टुकड़ा, उसमें भी आप उसको सस्पेंड कर सकते हैं. Now what happens when the epiphytic plants are planted in the cocoa pit? Now one of my students, she sent me a photo, and she had attended my class and this particular session, and told me, asked me, sir, I got a plant of this Neoregelia, and it is planted in the cocoa pit, pura cocoa pit mein. So what I should do? I said, immediately remove it. Don't let it there. And what she did is actually removed it, and it was for about 2 months there. And you'll see all had rotten completely. She couldn't say. So never allow any orchids and particularly bromeliads in the cocoa pit. It is one of the worst medium for that. Whenever you buy them, immediately remove them and plant them separately. That is very important. Now, you can mount them on the tree trunks also with moss, or otherwise you can put them on the pot also. Now you'll see here, I had planted them in the perforated pots. There is a lot of ventilation. And here, again, brick and charcoal pieces. Brick and charcoal pieces. Now the peculiarity of this plant is it has roots which are wiry and very thin. They are capable of drinking water, but their main job is actually to cling to the support. They are from Amazon area, Amazon basin. उसके ऊपर में trees के ऊपर grow हो जाते हैं. And what happens is, you'll see here, this has flowered. Now it is going to die, but before that it has given another sucker. So here, even if you don't water the roots at all, doesn't matter, because in nature what happens actually, the water is collected here in the center, which is called as a cup or the vase. So normally, even if you don't water it here, doesn't matter at all, but always you should fill the water here. So how does the plant drink water from here? What happens is the tissues which are attached to the leaf का जो base है, where it is attached to the stem, it has some spongy tissue, and from that it drinks water. So even if the roots are kept dry, doesn't matter. You can water them, no problem at all. You can definitely water them. So some water can be absorbed by the roots. But main thing is actually you can keep it, you'll see here, I kept it absolutely dry. But the still plant is surviving because the water is collected here. So don't forget that, that is very, very important. Then there are certain cavities in the tree. Cavities in the tree. Now, इसके ऊपर पानी भर जाएगा, so then mosquitoes will start breeding. So what I do is normally in these cavities, I fill the moss and उसमें मैं पौधे लगा देता हूँ. Different type of plants I put only in the moss, so they survive very easily. So some of the things which you will see now here, you see here, there is a cavity, and in that I planted the philodendron. Now, once the philodendron starts growing, it will start going on the tree trunk also, because it has aerial roots. So with that, it goes on spreading everywhere. But you will see no container, how beautiful it looks. Because when you go into the forest sometimes, you see another plant, some other plants like orchids, ferns growing on the tree trunk. So you can create certain beautiful, greenery like this also. Particularly if you've got a gulmohar tree, which becomes completely leafless. That time also you can see some beautiful greenery on the tree trunks. So these are the few things we can do. Here also you'll see in the cavities, actually this was actually in the gap of the two branches. I had planted this fern. Here also you'll see I had planted on the trunk now. Now how it is done? What I had done actually is there was no cavity. Here at least there was a gap between two branches. So what I did is actually on the trunk of the tree, I nailed some nails, थोड़ा सा, but छोटे छोटे, not very big, and tied moss in that firmly. और बाद में ये जो फर्न का रूट्स है, not big one, I taken a small piece, और उसके रूट में वो moss बांध के, again I tied with the ropes here with the help of the nail. And once it starts growing properly, the nails, they are very small, so they उसका रस्ट होके खराब हो जाता है and doesn't harm the plant at all. But afterwards, the plants themselves stick to the here, उसका bark के ऊपर stick हो जाते हैं. They are not parasites, they will take only support and start growing from all sides. So these are the beautiful things we can do. Again, another tree I had planted, you will see here, bromeliads लगाए थे. Now old bromeliads are dying, but before that, new suckers are going here, and you'll see here on this also you'll see I have planted, and so how beautiful it looks. So these are the things we have to do in the garden, something novel. Only just putting a hanging basket is everybody can do, but how many of you are doing this? And other thing is, suppose you don't want to put nails or something, what you can do is tie a plastic net little loose on the tree trunk, और उसके ऊपर अंदर between the gap of the tree trunk और इसके ऊपर नेट के अंदर जो गैप है उसमें मॉस ठूस ठूस के भरने का, and on that also you can plant. So here what I have done is the same thing. You see here how beautifully it is growing now. So these are the few things you have to do. Now what is moss? Moss actually not आपण मराठीमध्ये शेवाळ म्हणतो पाण्यामध्ये तरंगणार, not that one. This is the moss which grows on the tree trunks in the cooler places like Mahabaleshwar, Darjeeling, and that is being taken out, and when it dries it becomes like this. So this is taken out and planted. But what happens is nowadays so much demand is there that people will go on removing this. So it is actually damaging the nature. So now we have to start finding the alternatives for that. So cocoa chip, cocoa peat, or coir rope, and such things you have to always see for yourself. What I did is instead of making a moss stick, what I did is actually I made a netting, plastic का net का एक cylinder बनाया, and उसमें cocoa chip wet करके उसमें ठूस ठूस के भरा है, and this can be used now as a support for any creeper like a money plant or something. You can do it. So these are the few things we have to always think of and do. Sorry, there are कुछ problem हो गया था, so some of the slides cannot be seen. Now charcoal, cocoa chips, and here you see brickbat card. There आता नहीं ये picture. I don't know how it vanished here, but fine cocoa chips you get different grades also. So sometimes you have to use the fine chip, sometimes you have to use the thicker ones. And charcoal, remember charcoal, वो आपको use करना है brick के pieces. They should be about in 1 inch in diameter, not bigger or smaller, about 1 inch in diameter. These you can take assorted upon different जो needs है उसके ऊपर आप कर सकते हैं. Now potting medium for epiphytic plant. For most of the epiphytic plants, orchids, bromeliads, equal part of charcoal, brickbats, and cocoa chips. For epiphytic fern, as I told you, I use equal parts of charcoal, brickbats, and fine cocoa chips now. And some parts, if you want, you can use quarter part also of cocoa peat. But otherwise, you can avoid this also. But some part of that could be. So these are the few things we can do. Actually, different type of hangers are there, but I don't know how they have vanished from here. Anyway, so today's session is here over. I'm very sorry because my regular laptop just conked off, and when that latest my PPT था वो आपको बता नहीं सका. But now, if you want to ask any question.
Hello, Nandan sir. This is Sujata.
Yes.
Yeah. So first of all, I should. Your lectures are always such a, a treat to listen to because there's so much information about the plants and you go down to the very details. So I have a few questions.
Yes.
There's a question from Deepti Jain. So she asks, are all these sun loving in hanging baskets, or are some of them shade loving and some sun loving?
What happened is actually that original thing, it had that symbols of showing how much water and sunlight is there. Oh. But suddenly I had to go to this other laptop. There are some of the Slides are also missing. I'm very sorry for that. It never happened in my, but I don't know why it happened today. So in that actually symbols were shown, and I'm really sorry. But some of them actually sun loving. But orchids, bromeliads, and ferns are all semi-shade loving plants. Okay. And earlier ones you have seen just in hanging plants as such. Most of them are sun loving plants.
Okay. So the next question is by Vinayak Joshi. Said,
Yes.
how do you propagate passion fruit climber? It's
Or stem cuttings also, but I always advise seeds, say, because you will get a healthier plant and longer living.
and the next question is by Madhura Korantak. She has supported her money plant with on a moss stick, but it grows away from the stick and not ready to take support from the moss stick. So she asked, what is wrong with that?
See, when we actually, I don't know whether she has recently planted it on the moss stick or something. Now, when you want to grow certain plant on a moss stick, you have to put a small cutting and initially tie it to the moss stick. Then automatically it climbs on that. What happens once it is overgrown and if you try to tie it, it will cling, but it will take little longer time. So what you have to do is actually wrap it around this thing, अपना moss stick के around, or support it with some string or something on that. So the contact of that stem should come in contact with the wet moss. And another very important thing, whenever we water the plant, which is grown on the moss stick, first you have to make the moss stick wet by spraying the water on that. And then, because some water will be in the pot when you do that. So remaining water can be given, because if you keep the moss very dry, it may not cling to the moss stick at all.
And the next question is by Ragini Prasad. She asks, what type of moss should be used when planting in moss?
There is only a sphagnum moss. It is called as sphagnum moss. It is available in the nursery.
Okay. Vishal Shinde asks, how staghorn ferns can be grown? Like
by division. By division or by spores also. Spores is little difficult measure, but you get hundreds of millions of spores on that. So it can be propagated, but it's a little tedious process. But by division, it can be easily propagated.
By division, and it is grown in what?
Slides are seeing here. In that.
It is grown in what containers? Like, I mean, what kind of?
The epiphyte. Okay. So if it is grown in the pot, it should be always in the charcoal brick pieces and cocoa chip. But otherwise, it is mounted on the wood piece. Okay. Or coconut ka chilka. Okay. With the help of little moss.
And Meeta Mehra asks, do we need to water the plants growing on the tree trunks daily or only when they look dry?
No, I prefer to water them every day. Okay, but orchids not necessary, because in nature also many times once in a day if you water it is very good, because I prefer to water all my plants, including believe cacti and succulents also every day, because what happens is you go near the plants and observe them, because suppose you water them only once in 3 days, you'll go near the plant once in after 3 days, and by that time you'll see some insect or something is damage the plant. So what happens is when you water the plant every day, give small quantity, doesn't matter. I water my plants with a Bisleri bottle, उसका कैप में एक छोटा सा छेद रखा है and थोड़ा सा प्रेस कर थोड़ा पानी देता हूँ. So the plants will, and that gives very good results, because excess पानी नहीं हो जाता. Dirty water doesn't drip down.
So then Gargi has a question: how to fertilize the orchids? Does onion peel water work?
See, this onion peel and everything, I am not trying at all, because my knowledge is all from what I have tried. So these you have to try for yourself. And what happens is you cannot just water one plant with a onion peel or banana peel, and you may get very good results or you may not get results. So what you have to do, you should have at least 10 plants, or उसमें 5 plants को ये पानी दे दो, बाकी को कुछ मत दे दो, and see what result is there. So that you have to judge. Okay, because what happens is onion ka pani bini karne ka is too tedious, and these orchids are such a sturdy plants. I never gave them any chemical fertilizer or something, never fed them. But if you want, you get NPK foliar fertilizers. that they can be given.
Joyce has asked, do we have to add any liquid or diluted pesticide or antifungal to the moss when we use it as a potting base?
Sometimes what happens is, if you moisten the moss, there is no insects there. But sometimes what happens, if there is a high temperature and suppose the moss is tied with some plastic or something not exposed to the light, sometimes the fungus goes on that. But remember one thing, this fungus is of two types, again saprophytic and parasitic. Moss is dead, what we use is dead, so it is a saprophytic. So uske upar moss bhi, fungus bhi aa jayega, it will not harm the plant. It will not harm the plant.
Then Manik says, very well explained, useful tips given. And Gargi wants to know if homemade fertilizers can work. Else, can she use goat manure for orchids?
See, orchids have very thick leaves, so they will not be able to absorb whatever manure as such you give. Okay, so what happens is actually soluble, water soluble fertilizers and fed through the leaves. That is actually better. Or you can spray that water on the roots also. Foliar spray का जो आता है NPK 15-15-15-19-19, that you can do. But I have never given any, because in nature also you see so many orchids going on their own. They flower, bloom very easily. So I am not doing it.
Pooja has a question. Can you please tell the appropriate potting medium for edible pineapple? Also the type of pot and sun exposure needed.
Yes. See, pineapple actually is a very sun-loving plant. It's a very sun-loving plant, and it's quite a type of succulent. So it requires very sandy soil. So again here, two parts of sand, one part of manure, and one part of soil. And pot should be around minimum 12 inches ka pot hona chahiye, with about 12 inches depth. Okay, and in that you plant. Now pineapple can be propagated either uska crown aata hai usse ho sakta hai, or by the suckers which come from the ground, or the slips which actually come from the stalk of the fruit. But the best thing is to use the suckers, because suckers, if they are planted within 1.5 years, you get the fruits.
Do dendrobium orchids survive the summer of Mumbai on their own, or should extra care be taken?
No, they are very suitable for Mumbai climate. In fact, humid climate is very suitable, like Kerala, and I don't know, Maharashtra is why lacking. Maharashtra coastal area, Konkan, it is very good. And in Kerala, they are doing it in a very big business. But why we are not doing here, Konkan, I really doubt. But Mumbai, yes, they survive. In fact, I have shown you that photo when I was in Mumbai, how healthy it was going.
Right. Sharanya asks, any manure can be given to orchids for better? You've answered that. Basically, I think for orchids, you have suggested,
if you want to give
foliar fertilizer.
Because other fertilizers will not be accepted, because they will be draining out, because they have got a not root here, they don't have to absorb.
Right.
They have spongy roots. So only spray can be given on that.
Okay, Priscilla asks, sometimes I have noticed spiders on my orchids. Is it okay to wipe them with a damp cotton cloth?
See, I don't know what she is referring to, spiders. Spiders are absolutely harmless.
Yes.
So we remove. But there are certain related to them, they are not actually spiders, but they are called as red mites. So they may affect. So better to use actually wettable sulfur on them if it is red mites. But otherwise, most of the orchids don't get any much problem.
Okay, Joyce says, thank you very much for an excellent and informative, detailed and enjoyable session. And he would love to have some more sessions from you, sir.
Yes.
Again. Then Navita asks, can you please tell about the variety of orchids which can be grown in dry weather in cities like Bhopal?
See, Bhopal, I'm not sure, because what I told you, my experience is only from this area. But what happens is, see, any orchid, if you create that atmosphere, suppose you have got a polyhouse or small polyhouse where the humidity is created, they will definitely grow there. There is no problem. See, what happens is, if you want to keep in a zoo, certain animal, say from the polar bear or something, or penguins. You have to create a similar atmosphere for them. So plants are living things. So suppose you are not sure कि अपना बचेगा या नहीं, so find out what are his requirements. And most of the orchids require high humidity. They love humidity because, as I told you, they absorb the moisture through their roots, which are spongy. So dryness will not be tolerated. So Bhopal is very dry. So you'll have to create artificial humidity or just spray the water on the plant for 3 to 4 times in a day. Suppose you don't have the facility to create a polyhouse or something. Shade will not do. Shade net will not do. Because in shade net, there is no humidity created, only shade. But in polyhouse, not only semi-shade is there, but also humidity is created.
Yeah, you can do a kind of spray, you know, a periodical spray or something and create the humidity, right? So Meeta Mehra asks, how often do you give fertilizer to orchids?
As I told you, I have not ever watered them, given any fertilizer, but once in a month is more than enough if you want to give at all, once in a month.
And again, there are a lot of, you know, thank you from everyone. They also want to know when your next lecture will be. And if FOT is having, we'll definitely inform everyone. And I think that's at the end of the questions. I'll hand it over to
Dr. Sujata.
Nikhil.
Dr.
Yes.
Sujata, can you get back that questioner who asked what makes to believe that onion peels can supply that virtual water to orchid? What is her philosophy, or somebody has told her, or is it right or wrong thing that she has been doing? You all experts have to advise her.
Dr. Sawant sir, I think it is, the social media has been making rounds with onion peel fertilizers and eggshell fertilizers and banana peel fertilizers these days. So I think it's one of the WhatsApp circulars that the lady has been asking on.
So you experts have to take a right cause and tell, this is all not to believe into those kind of concepts, extracting water by the small tiny roots, from virtual water. Anyway, she has to be answered properly.
Yeah.
Guided properly. You can answer, yeah.
So I think for me, the questions, that's all we have for today. I can hand it over to Nikhil. He can take the program forward.
Thank you.
I would like to again tell.
Yes, sir.
Very sorry for today's listening because a lot of slides were missing. Actually, today in the morning I sat and many things were added, but unfortunately that laptop conked and I had to do on this another one in which some slides are actually missing. Very sorry. So
Absolutely no problem, sir. I would like to inform the audience that sir is just back from a trek, and in spite of that, he's conducting a session for today. And he has one more session from 6 o'clock for the online students. So I would like to thank sir for being, making time available for us. Thank you, Sujata ma'am, for conducting the question answer session, and thank you, Nandan sir, for answering all the questions. I now request our president, Dr. A.D. Sawant, to summarize our session for today and also address the virtual gathering. Dr. Sawant sir, over to you.
Yeah, wonderful session today. The slides of this kind are the most beautiful I ever seen, of orchids and hanging plants or baskets, whatever you call it. At the Friends of the Trees, see, Nandan we call Nandan 1, not like just Nandan, And Nandan Kalbag, we call him Nandan Ajbag, So he's ever in the bag. So, when anybody would enter the arena of the Friends of Trees exhibition at VGTI, and the first at the glance was that was Claglon fern hanging and all hanging baskets all along the corridor and different type of ferns, and visitors were getting most impressed with this kind of beautiful, well-maintained plants, and that was setting the tone of the exhibition. And they would enter into the orchid section and bonsai sections, open ground of VGTI, and that was a marvelous thing. So last 40 years, 40 year plus, I have seen the beauty of these plants in the exhibitions. Nandan is a very senior member. He taught many of us. He was always participating in the Friends of Trees and Rose Society exhibition. In fact, his arrangements and that of Prabhu representing Moraji Mills, where they were like legendary participants, both the organizations, individuals, and corporate. And that was adding to, and all that is their own without any sponsorship from anyone else, individual levels. And so, more than this lecture, I would appreciate and must thank him, and we all appreciate his services he has given to the nature and the world of orchids and these miniature plants, and they have been the beauty of everyone's house, everybody's house, and whether it is indoor or outdoor, offices or home, they're everywhere. But what is interesting that like a classical scientist, he has all small observation. You see that very small fiber-like orchid, he could find a miniature flower. Those kind of notices have to be, I don't know, our botany experts here, whether they have seen this phenomenon in this kind of orchids, but if not, it should be noticed and brought to the knowledge of the people who have been not able to observe the plants so well. So these observations are more important for experts like you, and they have to be taken into syllabi and also the hobbies. And so many questions. It was looking like a gardening class or orchids class. So many more interesting things in this arena, and he has taken us to the world of fascination of the small plants. So we thank you very much, Nandan, for your precious time and very painstaking slides that you have made, and they are made out of the plants that you have grown and nurtured themselves. On fertilizer aspects, yes, someone later can speak on what kind of fertilizer, in what form, highly soluble, washable, and absorbing and slow release fertilizers. When I see this kind of world of nature people are cultivating, I think the experts in chemical world also have to symbiotically help them to make understand. I hope that Mr. Deshmukh of RCF could be able to speak on this, that what kind of fertilizer, when and how much, and how to be applied to, and that to such delicate plants. This is very interesting. So thank you very much on behalf of all of us, the Managing Council, Committee of the Friends of the Trees, on behalf of President Emeritus and all of us, and then we thank and also congratulate you for this painstaking efforts.
Thank you.
If there are some awards to be given, the people like you are to be felicitated first at wherever every available platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you. One thing I wanted to tell, my original PPT which I wanted to show, it is shared with Sakina.
Okay.
So if anybody wants that, either
Yeah.
I or she can give it to you.
Sure.
Yes, sir. So can we share that with our members, sir?
Yes, definitely.
No problem. Yeah, acha,
And
okay.
those videos also.
Yeah, sir. So
Video,
on YouTube also we'll make yani
yes.
put up.
Because what
And
happens is today a lot of slides were missing.
yes, sir.
So if they see that, you can definitely share. In fact, all my videos and PPTs of this PDF,
Yeah.
I have
Sir,
shared
it was
with all my students.
really excellent. I have seen your 80, yani sir have prepared 84 slides. 84 slides.
Yes.
Yeah.
And please send me the link to YouTube also.
Yes, sir.
Oh. So shall we end here?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, yeah.
Sir,
So thank you, Nandan, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sawant. Thank you, Sakina, ma'am. So I now request Dr. Swedel to present the vote of thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Nikhil. Good evening, everyone. I, Swedel Shivkar, on behalf of National Society of the Friends of Trees, like to extend my vote of thanks. I thank Sri Nandan Kalbag, sir, for enriching us with the vast knowledge that you have acquired in the decades of experience. He has wholeheartedly shared it with all of us. Thank you, Ms. Amita Kalbag Bendur, Sir's daughter, who has been helping him with the presentation and supporting him all along. I like to express my gratitude to President Emeritus Dr. Firoza Godrej, our President Dr. A.D. Sawant, Managing Committee for the unstinted support in organizing these wonderful workshops. I can't thank enough Mr. Nikhil Maekar for comparing this webinar gracefully. Thank you, Dr. Benaz Patel, for the wonderful introduction of our guest speaker, Kalbag Sir, and Dr. Sujata Bhatt for moderating the question and answer session. I'm grateful to the organizing and the technical committee, Dr. Shashireka Iyer, Ms. Sakina Gadiwala, Honorary Secretary of FOT, Dr. Benaz Patel, Dr. Sujata Bhatt, Mr. Nikhil Maekar for the smooth sailing of the webinar. The integral component of the webinar, the participants. Thank you for attending today's webinar. Please check the FOT website for the upcoming webinars which are held on a monthly basis. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Swedel. I now declare the webinar, today's event to be over. Thank you for joining us. Please stay tuned to our Facebook page for our upcoming events. Thank you all. Have a great day ahead. Stay home and stay safe.
Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you, Swedel. And thank you, everybody. In the I thanks all the participants for making our program very successful. And Nandan sir, I received so many requests from our member to conduct your bamboo articles, how to make the bamboo articles. So we're looking forward to that. Okay. So thank you, everyone. So now we close. Sound.